Hello everyone. Okay, sorry about that. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another What If Deku Had Argo's Powers. Well, thank you to this person here who made this. None of the art that you see here will be mine. Any music that I play, credit to them. Anything that I do in this video, credit to the person I'm taking it or using it. But mostly, I'm just using their stuff, not taking their ideas. So, if you haven't watched last episode, I advise you do, unless you want because we're going to go into the U entrance exam, but not that long. You'll understand when I get there. But watch the other episodes to understand. And if you can't, just hit the button where it's my face. Check that out. Check all the other episodes out. I'll make a playlist for all of this soon. But let's get into it. I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. I'm in the basement, where I usually like to record. So we left off with Deku, or Izuku, kissing all the girls. And basically, he's dating all the girls. If I'm just going to recap on who's he's dating. He's dating Kendo, Jiro, Mina, and Monichi. If you don't know who Monichi is, it's a custom-made character. Not custom-made character, but it's Monoma, basically. But Monoma's their last name, and Monichi is their first name. Oh, I wasn't tired until I start recording. I don't know why. Okay. So we're going to. They dated in a secret. They were dating for a secret about. Okay, no. Brain, work, function. Okay. All of them confessed to him. He accepted their feelings. But with one condition, he has to try to fall in love with each one of them, except for Monichi, that he had a crush on. Okay? So, why am I tired? Why? As soon as I... Okay. Whatever. Okay. I got it. Okay. Yeah, like I was trying to say, they were... Okay. For a month, Izuku was dating the girls in secret. But the girls did not want their relationship to be secret. And Izuku said, well, if my fan club finds out that I have girlfriends, well, they're going to start bullying you guys. And, well, I just want to make sure you guys are safe. He's looking away and just blushing a little. He has grown closer to the girls. And, well, oh, come on. Okay. If I yawn again, I'm slapping myself. Do it. Okay. Like I was trying to say before. Okay, like I said before, he was trying to protect the girls from keeping their relationship a secret. And, well, he kinda did. Until at the end of the year, this is the first year of high school still. At the end of the year of the first year of high school, the girls decided enough is enough. We're going to tell everyone that we're dating Izuku. So, basically, it was basically like prom. And the girls came in and dressed. All the guys saw, and, well, some of them started to hit on Izuku's girlfriends. And, well, they say, sorry, we're taken. And they say, why don't you just leave that... Why don't you leave your boyfriend for us? Some of the guys say. And some of them were getting a little forceful, if you know what I mean. And Izuku says, oi. And then beep off. Just, if you can think about the word, you know what I mean. Just pretend if it was Bakugo who said that. And you can kind of understand. Okay, Izuku says, oi, blank off. And they say, oh, the Prince Charming that has his own fan club is protecting these girls? Then the guys say, these basically people are a type of bully, not a good bully. Bullies would be more understanding of this and not be this rude to the opposite gender. You understand? And Izuku says, oi, if you don't, okay, brain, you want to function, okay, if you don't want to move, he says, if you don't want broken legs, I suggest you guys move out. And they say, oh, what? The goody two-shoes is going to break our legs? I'd like to see you try. All the, basically, some of the, it's basically going to start a fight. Izuku is in, give me a second. Just imagine this, basically, but without the horns and the cape. But, no, hold on. Yeah, Izuku is wearing something like this. Give me a second. Yeah, Izuku is wearing something like this. To the thing. But just imagine, okay, he's wearing the boots, basically he's wearing this at the party. At this, type of prom. I was about to say prom. Bleh. Prom. And, remember, and he's, like, sorry for my language, but pissed. He's mad. And they say, well, and this is back to the story anyway. I'm just gonna say it, douchebags, just say, there's a rumor going around. You don't like to use your quirk that often. And he says, I bet you're just quirkless. And that's why you don't like to use your quirk, because you don't have any. You don't have one. And as soon as the guy says that, basically, Deku puts a barrier around him, basically shrinking it, and shrinking it until it's like this. And he's putting his foot there. And he says, say that again, I dare you. And the guy saying, why can't I use... Basically, just imagine the person being shrunk. Basically, wrap a rope around your arms and try to break from it. But remember, that rope would be like titanium, a sheet. Okay, titanium. Like titanium. So try to break a piece of titanium with just brute strength. And have it wrapped, like, have a metal glove made out of titanium, make a fist, try to move your fist inside the titanium glove. It would be hard with only brute strength. And this guy had a strength quirk, so it was very hard for him. The other guys had speed quirk, and a regeneration quirk. And Izuku says, you want to try to talk to me again like that? He's basically rubbing his hair, saying, you want to try to talk to me like that again? And they say, they say, why are you this strong? You don't like using your quirk. You should have. He says, by rubbing his hair, basically. Like, rubbing his back of his neck, saying, "You know, I do like using my quirk, but it's really not my style until you get underneath my skin. And I will just say this. Talk." And this is what he says. And just mind you, there's a crowd of people around him. And they see him using his quirk, putting his foot on that guy, and people are saying, "Ooh, he's in trouble." The girls are fangirling, and he says, Izuku says, "If you try to flirt with my girlfriends again, I'll break your legs and your arms next time. Just understand, because they don't want to go with you means they don't want to go. No means no. Do you understand that?" And they say, "Your girlfriends?" And people say, "Wait, his girlfriends?" And Izuku is more raged right now, so he does not know there's a crowd of people around him. He's just doing basically what Arlo would do if someone pissed him off. Basically almost killing them. Not almost, but hurting them enough. Right now, he's just crushing their bones. It's not going to break their bones, but one more push down is breaking breaking his arms, legs, and ribs. So, like, adding a little crack in them. His ribs would add a little crack, but his arms and knee, like his legs, would be broken. They won't be able to walk on them or crawl. And the girls come over and say, "Izuku, calm down, calm down. It's fine." Monichi comes up and says, "Izuku." He says, "Monichi, what?" "I was dealing with these douchebags over here that was messing with you." And she says, "Well, we know how to protect ourselves. We know how to protect ourselves, but, well, you should maybe loosen up a bit." And he says, "What do you mean by loosen up?" Manishi says, "You know what I mean. Relax. Just stop using your quirk already, before you get in trouble." He says, "Fine, fine." He stops using his quirk. As soon as there was 5 of them, 5 dudes there, and I only named 4 quirks. No. Yeah, there's only 4 dudes, sorry, not 5. And the 5th dude had a blade type quirk. As soon as he is let go, And this one was behind Izuku, basically. And he comes up, turns his hand into a blade, and comes slicing at him. Comes slicing at his back. Izuku, basically training with Gunhead a lot, and also Kendo saying, "Watch out." Izuku basically formed his normal team, basically activating the barrier around his fist and using chi and adding spikes to them, punches him and sends him flying into the wall. Basically, turns around fast and punches. Yeah, so punching him straight into the wall. And remember, he had spikes on the ball this time. So he had the dude with this dude had a knife making work. So his stomach, brain fart again. So this dude was punched into the wall. And plus, he had spikes on the ball. Not that sharp, but not that blunt either. So it kind of, broke his ribs. And he says, basically rubbing his eyes like he's annoyed. And then coming up to his hair, basically moving it back and saying, walking towards him slowly, and just sighing. You really want a death wish, don't you? You tried to kill me, huh? Why don't I try to kill you? He's releasing a little bit of his bloodlust. The guy basically peed his pants and passed out from the... Just remember, this is a small amount. This guy has never sensed bloodlust before. So, first time you sense bloodlust, you pass out. The people around there were basically on their knees shaking. Some of the girls as well that were in his fan club were shaking because they haven't seen the side of Izuku. And well, sorry, I thought I heard something. Well, after that, one of the girls, Jiro, yeah. And this is the guy with the strength enhancement quirk. Or strength quirk, sorry. Not enhancement, quirk. And, well, Jiro comes running up behind Izuku and says, "Izuku, are you okay?" And there's the strength not enhancement, strength quirk guy comes up, is about to hit Jiro, and his punch would basically break, not break, but make Jiro cough up blood. But before he does, hits her, Izuku basically takes a makes a barrier around Jiro's back. And he punches the barrier. The impact sends him flying back into another wall. The regeneration dude is basically regenerating his body at a slow pace, but the speed quirk dude is basically running at Izuku, and basically before the knife quirk guy passed out, he has a special ability, not a special ability, his ability allows him to create knives and make knives out of his body and turn his body into a knife. So he created a knife out of his 2 arms and let them fall down to the ground. But before Izuku saw them, the speed dude ran past him, grabbed them, and then hold them up like a thief would, like in a game, or a rogue in D&D, or assassin in D&D. You understand what I'm trying to say? Oh well. And well, Izuku says, "Huh? Oh, you have a knife?" And he says, "Yeah. So what? Are you afraid now?" And give me a second. So just imagine, basically this here, or hold on, give me a second. Okay, so basically I'm using Bakugo's Halloween outfit as an example, but on his hand, he pulls out, he has a pocket, basically, and he pulls out a chain, like this, length, but a little bit longer and a little bit thinner. And he basically adds, hold on, he adds a barrier right there, and if I do this, yeah, so just imagine this is a barrier right there. So just imagine that's a barrier, but, give me a second. So just imagine something like that, but not as pointy. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. So it would be something like that, and it would be at the end of the chain. So this guy says, "Oh, what are you going to do with that?" He basically adds the barrier on the end of it, and he says, "Oh, I bet you can't even hit me because I'm too fast for you." But like I was trying to say before, after that, the dude says, you're probably too slow, but to Izuku, he's actually the slower one. he was just surprised with his speed and all. But we would cut to a flashback of him at Gunhead's dojo training against no, sorry, scratch that. We have a flashback going back that we keep, and Gunhead asked Izuku if I have someone you might want to meet. And Izuku says, who would that be, Sensei? And he brings in the pro hero, Eugenium. And he says, Eugenium says, is this the prominent student that you have told me so much about? He says, yeah, this is. His name is Izuku Midoriya, Quirk Barrier. So basically, aka, to just sum it all up, Izuku sparred with Eugenium and made this type of weapon for speedsters, just in case they have a speed-type quirk. And he asked a support company to custom make this, basically, to allow him to focus his quirk through it as well. So it comes as strong as this quirk, and he can focus a barrier on the end of it as well. So after that would be... So basically, the guy gets hit with a chain and says, ow, my chest. No, he gets hit in the leg. And he says, ow, my leg. They say he gets hit in his leg and he says, ow, my leg. And it wrapped around his leg, hitting his ankle, and basically this hits his ankle. And well, if you have ever hit your ankle, it hurts. If you know how that feels good, then you can imagine. And he also, it tied around his leg, so he pulled him up, and then he let go of his barrier and pulled the chain off of him, making him fly into the stage. And the last one with the regeneration quirk. This type of regeneration quirk is a little OP, but not that bad. More damage he takes, faster. No. So basically, if he gets a paper cut, it heals slowly, but if he does it multiple times... Okay, let me explain this guy's quirk before we get into his scene. The first time you do a paper cut, this guy did a paper cut, he got hurt. But after regeneration, he does it a second time, it won't affect him. It won't even cut into his skin. So it's a type of hardening base quirk / regeneration. So yeah, so this guy has a basically hardened regen quirk. So basically, if you break his while he's in a type of hardened state that he's always in, and his regeneration is not kicking in. So basically, he has a good quirk, a little bit better than Kirishima's, but not that good. His hardening is not that good, because he usually does paper cuts on each point, and he basically makes a sharp enough paper to cut his arms a little bit, and his chest, basically stuff like that, for basic training. Not like what Izuku did, but what Izuku did, harden up his chest and his bones. Basically, harden up his whole entire body for forever, basically. Because this dude's quirk is always on. It counted as a mutation / hardening / regeneration quirk. So, it's a little broken, a little, because it was always on when the kid had it. So, So after that, it would be the dude that I was just explaining the quirk about. And, well, we get into the fight scene there. Izuku just throws a punch at him because he was coming at him with a punch. And, well, the dude did not go sent flying before. He just was slid back against the ground, just like a couple feet away, but not flying into the wall. Bad. And Izuku says, "Oh, you're stronger than the other ones. Well, at least I can maybe take you a little bit more serious." You heard me right? Izuku was playing with them. And Guy says, "Wait, you were just messing with us?" No, the dude says, "You weren't taking us serious?" No. The only person I took serious there was the person who was about to slice my back. But that, I just stopped being serious at the last second, and, well, you can still see my power. But let me show you something that I've been keeping secret. So, he basically, give me a second. Yeah, this one will work. So, no, he does not say that. He says, well, take your friends and leave before I really get serious. And he just seeks out a lot more bloodlust, basically, making almost everyone at the prom, they're shaking their knees and getting down on all fours and breathing heavily. But Bakugo senses this and just immediately runs towards it and says, "Izuku is in danger." No, he does not say this. He says, he says, "This is what happens," okay? So scratch that part. He runs towards where the bloodlust is coming off of, because he knows this bloodlust. It's Izuku's. And he's about to say, "Oh no, someone's about to die." And Kirishima says, "Huh? Someone's about to die? What do you..." And he feels the bloodlust. Basically, Kirishima was on the phone with with Bakugo, but he was outside of the gym, basically. So his bloodlust basically surrounded the whole entire school building. So everyone in the school was down on their knees, except for a few people with fear negation quirks and maybe some strength enhancements, but most people were down on their knees. Kirishima had to harden his body to stand up. And Izuku basically threw barriers over Mina, Kendo, Munichi, and Jiro, so they can stand up. But no one else in the building can. Kirishima can stand up, a few can stand up. Bakugo is basically running there. And he says, and he gets to the guys, and he sees, oh, I may be too late. Because he gets there with, the dude's face bloodied, a tooth missing, bruised up. Says, come after my girlfriends again. I'll beat the living beep out of you over and over and over again until you're out of high school. Do you understand me? And dude basically says, yes. Yes, Midoriya. He picks himself up, runs off, because Izuku has stopped using his bloodlust. And everyone gets up. And, well, everyone gets up. Most people see the fan club, the fangirls from his fan club, but basically they'll see, okay, so they make a note of this, saying, don't pick on Izuku's girlfriends unless you want to be dead. ... Now, everyone in this whole entire school says, mental note, don't mess with Izuku's friends or girlfriends. Girlfriend or girlfriends, they say, mental note, don't mess with Izuku Midoriya's girlfriends. And maybe friends? So, everyone now is basically scared of him. So basically, like in canon, basically in 10th grade, he's basically the ruler of the school. He rules this whole entire school. Teachers are scared of him. Students are scared of him. So basically, yeah, and then that's how it is. Then we're going to do a time skip to the end of the school year. We're going to do a time skip to the end of the school year. And people are happy that Izuku is not in there. Some teachers are happy it's the end of the school year because Izuku Midoriya is leaving. But some teachers are sad because Izuku Midoriya was keeping the bully rate down. And well, in the last year, basically, it would be similar to canon, basically, with all the similar people, but with Bakugo being in his class as well. Basically, his friend group, basically his girlfriends, Kirishima, And Bakugo would be in his class. Final year and final day of school. And well... And, well, he says Bakugo does the same thing as in canon, but he says, except for Jiro. No, he says same thing as canon, but he says, don't lump me in these bunch of losers with, except for Izuku, Kirishima, Mina, Jiro, Kendo, and Monichi. That. And people see basically Bakugo as Izuku's right-hand man. Kirishima would be third, and then it would be Monichi as fifth. No. Fourth, and then it would be basically Miro? Who's Miro? No. Mina. Blech. I was trying to say Mina, but I was thinking about Jiro, so I got Miro. So, Mina would be the last person he puts in charge. For obvious reasons. Unless it was, like, so... making people dance... he could help. Mina usually could do with, and setting parties. She's usually the first pick when it comes to that stuff. But Bakugo would be more of the main person. For obvious reasons. Childhood friend. And well... childhood friend. And well... yeah, childhood friend and best friend. And people who don't like this ship, just move on with it. Because I'm just going to state now, Bakugo and Kirishima are dating in this. I'm okay with the ship. I'm a fan of the ship. It makes sense. But... okay? I'm bisexual, so I float girl or boy. I don't care. And plus, I don't care about their type. People who judge a person by their relationship just don't deserve to exist. Because if you fall in love, you fall in love. You can't stop that. So, after that, would be so basically, Izuku is walking home with Mina, Jiro, Kendo, and Monichi. And the teacher says, well, these people here are going to UA, the people I just said, and Kirishima and Bakugo. And people are not surprised. People are not surprised about this at all. And so we would cut to the end of the day. And, well, we would cut to the end of the day saying, okay, we would cut to the end of the day, and Bakugo says, Hey, Izuku, me and, well, Kirishima over here are going over to the store. You wanna come? And Izuku says, no thanks. No thank you. I don't really want to. Besides, my mom needs me at home. And he says, okay, see you, dude. And Izuku basically lives in the same direction as Mina, Kendo, and Jiro, and Munichi. And okay, he lives in the same direction as Munichi, Kendo, Jiro, and Mina. Bleh, mouthful. Try to say those names 5 times fast. Try to repeat that 5 times over. Bleh. Sorry, brain does not like to speak today. Well, after that, it would be... After that, it would be, it would be a sludge villain attacked. But the pre-scene, basically. Izuku was walking forward of the group, basically. A little behind. And the slowest one I would have to say would have to be Jiro. Jiro of the group. And basically, they're walking ahead. They're walking. Jiro is in the back, and the sewer drain slides open, and, well, Jiro was listening to music like she's always doing, and Izuku sensed a little bloodlust, but not a lot, saying, maybe a rat. Thinking to himself, because they were walking under a sewer. Like, walking past a sewer. So, he could sense a little bloodlust, maybe from a rat. But he turns around when that bloodlust gets bigger, and he sees Jiro in the sludge. And just imagine he has a bag over here, like, give me a second. Oof. Yeah, so, yeah, this should work. So he pulls out the chain from his pocket that he usually has on him, and he, instead of making a type of barrier, he makes... Give me a second. Let me just go. So it would be something like this. at the end of the chain instead. Basically, he's using chi to bend that part of the barrier inwards. And basically, he throws the chain and it grabs onto Jiro. He releases his chi and it grabs. Basically, when he releases his chi, he's basically letting go of it, so it would just... So just imagine the red as chi, so it would just shut this close, and that would happen. After it would shut Jiro inside of its barrier, and he would pull out Jiro basically with the chain hooked up to the barrier still, and pull Jiro out of the sludge villain. And he says, "Kendo." And she says, "Yeah." And no, he blip 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 blah blip 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 blah. Okay. Izuku says, "Munichi and Kendo. Munichi, copy Kendo's quirk. And Kendo. And Munichi, when you're ready, make your hands big, and make wind pressure at the villain." They say, "Okay." And then Jiro, he says, "Jiro, this is what he says to Jiro. Jiro, plug your earphone jack one into my..." He basically pulls out a type of glove like this. Like, just imagine this type of glove. He pulls out that, but it has a speaker hole in it. And he says, "Jiro, hook your earphone jack into this. And plug the other earphone jack into the ground." She says, "Got it." Mina. And she says, "Way ahead of you. Create enough acid with the..." No, she does not say that. Izuku says, "Mina, create enough acid that does not hurt Kendo and Munichi's hands, but it's enough acidity to hurt that type of sludge." She says, "Got it." And while this glove that Izuku is wearing, basically it has a type of... Remember, red is chi, so chi is flowing from his body, basically, into this port here. And Jiro's earphone jack is now gaining chi, and she can basically use her heartbeat in the ground now. That's what I'm using for chi, basically. Her chi ability would basically allow her to send stuff into the ground, making, like, rock pillars basically form up from the ground, stopping the sludge villain from moving backwards from the wind pressure, and enough acid to not melt the ground, but to mess up this sludge villain's mixture. And I say, "Mina." And she says, "Yeah?" Not me. I say, "Mina." Izuku says, "Mina." And she says, "Yeah?" He makes a type of barrier. Fill up this with acid. The highest a medium amount of acidity. And she says, are you sure? Just do it. I can see what he's made out of from here. Sludge, but it's more than sludge. And she says, okay. So basically, filling it up with sludge, with medium acid, basically. Enough to basically melt concrete. Enough to melt the concrete, but not enough to melt titanium shield. You understand? So basically putting, not titanium anymore, but maybe if you take 3 metal bars of titanium, they're all solid through, except for the 4th one that is hollowed out, and try to bend them all. And that's how strong Izuku's barrier is now. So basically, she fills that up, and he basically makes the barrier smaller, basically condensing it into this type of size, but it's with a medium-sized acid, and the barrier was, so it's equal to this size. So he made it a tiny atom, basically, and it's to his finger, and the acid is so condensed, it's about to pop. So he says, Minichi, and she says, do you have a fire-based quirk today? And she says, yeah, but why? Use it as soon as I throw this. It's basically, it's not that small, but it's big enough like that. So it's big enough for her to not miss. And big enough for her to not miss, basically. And not big enough for her to not miss, but it's not small enough, but okay. It's easy to see where it is. Brain function, please. Okay. After that, he says, Onishi, try to combine Kendo's hands with the flame cord that you use. And she says, sure, but it will be more difficult. Just try. And Kendo, feed air into the combined quirk with Munichi. She says, got it. So basically, fire's now being like blue flames from, basically, it was red flames, but she's making hand signs, basically, and Kendo is basically feeding a bunch of air and oxygen into it, basically condensing it, making it into blue flames. And to make it a little bit easier, Izuku basically made another barrier that condensed, basically, it's a funnel, basically. It would be a funnel type shape, but it would be tighter, until it's like, maybe, so it would be this big, but it would be going down like that, until it's like that, and Izuku is still holding this thing, and he tosses it towards the sludge villain, basically. And So his barriers are, like, getting heated up. But as soon as he throws this medium concentrated acid, basically, in his fingertip and throws it at the sludge villain, he says, "Kid, what are you?" Basically, this acid that he condensed, Mina's acid is flammable in this story. Anyway, so the acid that she created, he also asked if it was flammable. In this story, Mina can create almost any type of acid, not just... Okay, so to just help with the storyline, anyway. And well, after that, Izuku basically threw this flaming acid, literally flaming acid, at the sludge villain, and he unhooked Jiro's thing, because he was basically making one barrier, like with his pinky and his finger next to his pinky, and was holding so basically like how you would flick a finger, basically. He was having those three fingers up. One that was holding the condensed thing. One that was holding... Two was holding, the condensed thing. The condensed flames. And basically, he lets go of that. The flames are not blue anymore because they're not being condensed. They're like more of a lightish red, or darker red, and he unplugs Jiro's headphone jack, and the barrier, the earth walls would go back down, using from her heartbeat, would go back down in the ground, and he would use both of his hands, basically, like how you would make Bakugo's explosions if you were cosplaying as him. And he takes both of that type of hand sign, and close them together. And a barrier, because he's using both hands, not just one, both this time, it would be, so basically, it would be 8 solid titanium, it would be 8 solid titanium pipes, and 2 and 1 hat, and 1 that is half filled with titanium. And after that, it would be, after that, it would be, but the sludge villain would be contained with 8.5 titanium filled rods, basically, when he uses both hands. And that would be about it. I'm going to pause the video, and because it's not 22. Okay, so I have to leave off the video here. Wait, no I don't. You're just gonna hear me chewing then. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm more farther away because I'm eating Thanksgiving meal. So happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Okay, so where were we? With Sludge Villain. So All Might appears. He sees the Sludge Villain is captured, and basically he asked who has captured the villain. But Izuku says, well, sorry, All Might, but we had to use our quirk because I did not want my girlfriend to get hurt. My girlfriends to get hurt. And he says, girlfriends? Basically raising an eyebrow. Yeah, the girls that you see around me right now are all my girlfriends. And he says, oh, so you were basically trying to start a harem. And Izuka says, it's not like that, but yes and no. But, the sludge villain is very injured. But so that would be he says, why is the sludge villain this injured? I'm just going to say the sludge villain had a transformation type quirk, and he basically passed out because it basically transformed him back when he passes out. Because I can't imagine basically a mutation quirk like that basically you're giving birth to sludge. Would your mother be sludge as well? So I'm just going to say it's a transformation type quirk. All Might takes this guy and says, "Oh, thank you." And he says, "Well, I got to get going." And he goes off. The sludge villain is still passed out. But the guy that is the sludge villain is still passed out. But as soon as All Might deflates, there's a pile of steam, smoke, and the sludge villain wakes up, sees he's in a different place, and turns into a sludge form, slithers away into the alley where Bakugo and Kirishima would be. Because Kirishima and Bakugo would be a little bit stronger than canon normally. And sorry if you hear any background noises, but give me a second. I'm sorry for you it's probably just a second. For me it was about an hour long. not an hour, but you can kind of understand. Because my cat, Shadow, brought in a live mouse, a live baby rat in this house, and well, it's underneath my aunt's bed, and my cat Shadow does not like my aunt at all. So her room won't they won't okay, my cat won't go inside the room and stay there and hunt the mouse. So I have to end it here because it's 7:41. But before we end it, I'm just going to finish off. So the sludge villain would go down to Bakugo and Kirishima, trap them in sludge because they're more powerful but less brain. You understand? And well, we cut over to Izuku and All Might saying, "Where's the guy?" Oh no, he got away. And well, basically looking for the guy, and well, then we cut over to a loud explosion. Mina Izuku knows who would make that explosion, Bakugo, or a villain, so he goes over there and sees what's happening. He sees Bakugo's trapped. Without even hesitating, he creates a barrier that separates Kirishima, Bakugo from the sludge villain. And he makes a barrier around the sludge villain. And he... Okay, sorry about that. Well, well, after that, the heroes praise Deku, and we cut over to Izuku walking alone, but with Momichi walking beside him because the other girls went their separate ways. And well, Onichi is basically Izuku's next door neighbor, and All Might saw what happened, so he's decided to give Izuku his quirk. And he appears, debuffs, and Izuku says, "Who are you?" But he says, "Calm down, young man, calm down. I am All Might, but I have an injury, and, well, I want to offer you something." Izuku says, "Well, I'm not that interested in your offer, but my friend here would be interested. Her quirk is called Copy. Any ability that she copies, she can copy a ton of quirks, but they're imperfect. You understand, All Might? But if you're... But she would probably be the one best suited for your offer. And to let you know, if you're the All Might that we talked to the other day, then you know that she is my girlfriend. So if you hurt her, he lets go of his bloodlust, putting a barrier around Monishi, saying, if you hurt her, you're dead. Basically, releasing the barrier and containing his bloodlust. And after that, stuff happens. All Might says, well, I wanted to offer you my quirk, but if you're denying my offer, I'll offer her my quirk. Basically. And after that, Zuko says, what are you offering? And that depends on what you're offering. He denies it. Momichi gets one for all, basically. Is going to get one for all. And he says, well, I'm going to have to explain this to her childhood friend and my other girlfriends and the other two friends. I just have to explain this to the friends that I trust the most. You understand that, all right? Because we've basically been together since middle school. So, since, elementary. So if you're trying to give us something, you're going to have to tell us, all of us. And plus, I think Momichi would probably be the benefit, because you're saying it enhances your quirk. So, it's going to be best if it's given to Momichi. There's acid, earphone jack. There's acid, earphone jack, big fist, copy, explosions, harden, or barrier. And I think copy would be the most obvious choice, because you're stockpiling different quirks and being able to transfer them over. Transfer from user to user, like you say. Well, you're going to want more power within the quirk. So if you're doing it correctly, choose a copy quirk is going to change the copy quirk, enhancing the copy quirk to maybe a perfect copy with unlimited powers. Izuku says, and he says, almost shocked, saying, okay, I will choose her. And well, that's what I have to wrap it up with, because the time it's 1 hour and 23 minutes and counting. So I'm going to end it here. Like and subscribe if you like this content. Give me comments. Tell me who I should ship Class 1A students with, except for Izuku, Mina, Kira. Okay. You know the people. Just don't put those people in the comments. Izuku, Mina, Jiro, Kendo, Momichi, or aka Monoma, Bakugo, and Kirishima. Don't put those people in the name, in the thing, but you can maybe add on, but not. You can add on people to the ships, or make new ships for me. So see you guys. Like and subscribe. Bye.